Yo guys, welcome back to Cryptoria. Today I'm going to be covering Ethereum, but before I do, I'd appreciate if you like, subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you know when I upload. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Yes guys, how's it going? All the markets are looking very good at the moment, so I will be covering some Ethereum today, just going over price analysis and to just show you guys that the sort of resistance levels that Ethereum has actually broken. So is it an upside? Is it still a potential downside? I will be covering that today. So I am on actually CoinMarket at the moment. As you guys can see, it is still ranked second. So as you guys can see, it is over 6.33% over the last 24 hours. So it is actually circulating around that 2,200 level. So the circulating volume is actually 25 billion, actually up 2.92% over the last 24 hours, and the market cap is still huge at 260 million. In terms of upcoming news guys, there is a whole bunch of news coming up, especially the main ones being the London hard fork. As you guys can see, Ethereum Imperium Proposal 1559, a significant and contentious update is coming to the largest network. So go ahead and check this out. So this should improve in terms of the actual market price as well, and all these other ones as well. Go ahead and check that out as well, and also the main one being the actual reduced gas fees as well. So hopefully all of this would actually play in part and actually go ahead. So as you guys can see, this one's actually happening end of next month or earlier, so hopefully it does do that, and what it do is hopefully bring the price back up to its all-time high or even close to it, breaking that resistance level around that 3,000 level. So going over the chart now guys, so I will be giving a full breakdown on the chart. So as you guys can see, it did have that peak all the way up around that $4,380, so nearly that 4,500 level. So and it did actually retrace hugely, and I actually did end up bearish in that month around the May, and it actually go all the way down to around that level, around 1,700. So that is a massive dip. I do hope no one bought it at the top here and just waiting or holding, or even sold at the low here, making that massive L around that $3,000 loss if you did sell it around here. So hopefully no one did actually buy it. As I always say guys, don't buy it at an all-time high level, especially when you can't actually see anything on your left. You don't know if there's any other form of resistance level or support or anything. You have no data here, whereas now if you were to buy here, you have the potential to go back up to the all-time high. So you do know there has that potential to go back up there. So going through this, as you guys can see, it did have that all-time high here. At the moment it did actually break below this market as well. Didn't actually close it, but it did have that and that as well. So what I'll do here now guys, as you guys can see, it did have this level of resistance around that level here. As you guys can see, around that level, around that 1,100 to around 1,300 level. So this seems to be a major part. As you guys can see, it didn't actually retrace back, but going down to weekly, as you guys can see, just bringing its upper level here, just touching that level of resistance. As you guys can see guys, it did actually break up and then did actually retest this level here, creating that level of support and then going back up. Never actually retesting this level around that 1,200 to 1,500 level ever again. So around that start of the year, around February, as you guys can see, it did have that dip all the way around to $700 on the dot. Bit sus, but $700 on the dot. If you guys did pick up, then you must have made a substantial gain, especially as it hasn't actually hasn't actually retraced back all the way down to that $700 as of yet. Now I don't think it ever would. So as you guys can see, it did do that, moving this across a bit up. As you guys can see, there is another level of resistance here, and it did break above and has been touching and hasn't actually broke above. It has actually seemed to be breaking above this last week actually, but as you guys can see, going into a bit more, this seems to be breaking above this level of bearish candle here. So if it does break above guys, I do see an upside going up to around these levels around here. So around to this level of resistance, if it does break above these levels of bearish candles around that high over there. If it does, I do see it going around to that 2,700 level to around that 2,900 level, and even that breaking above, hopefully retesting it as well. If it not, it might not. as you know, crypto market is pretty volatile, so it might not even retest. I don't even expect a retest, or any form of forex sort of related sort of patterns or theories. I probably won't work with cryptos, so as it's so volatile. So it either retest or you just fly up, going up towards these level of resistances here. So as you guys can see, there's level of resistances around that 4,000 level, hopefully retesting again and going up towards the all-time high. I'll say around 5,000 mark, especially for the short term anyway. But I do see Ethereum doing so well, especially when you compare it to stuff like Bitcoin. It would have potential of this going towards that 5-figure mark, around that $10,000. So going over to daily, if you guys want to play this short term, I'm just going to remove all the drawings. So as you guys can see, so there is that level of support / resistance already being formed at the moment. As you guys can see here, it has actually created a strong level of support, has rejected it multiple times. As you guys can see, created a resistance level around here. There's nasty range here, did break about, then break below, sorry, and then actually did go back up, but it has actually retested all the way back here. But it depends, guys. It depends on how you want to look at markets. As you guys can see as well, there is a sort of a head and shoulder pattern forming as well. I won't draw it out, but you could see the pattern forming. If you drop down to the 4 hour, 1 hour, you could probably see it better, but just visually I can see that there is a head and shoulder pattern here as well. If it does obviously respect that pattern, it might even go down towards levels around here, but I don't really see that ever happening. But that is just an outcome as well. As I said, there is always two ways of crypto markets going, either highs or lows. So you can never expect it always being bullish. It will always go bullish or bearish. So as you guys can see, that is what I said. So that support is formed. It did break this little minor resistance level here. As you guys can see, going in a bit more in depth, there is that little resistance level that it did break. So, and it did go flying high, and it has broken this high over here and gone up. So if it does break this level of resistance again, like this situation here, I do see going up to these levels around that 2,500 and then towards that $3,000. So guys, that is all it in terms of my analysis on what Ethereum's heading to and the potential it's got. As I did mention, guys, go over this as well. I will leave a link below in terms of the upcoming news, in terms of news that will hopefully happen soon, in terms of the London hard fork, which is the major one that's coming out, and all of those other upcoming news as well. So guys, that is my price analysis in terms of long term and short term. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on bell notification for all future videos. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.